Hi everybody, thanks for joining me. So, if you've been watching my videos that I've had recently had a 5-day fast, basically liquids only, and thought it did me a lot of good. Felt great at the end of it, probably should have kept going a little longer, but didn't. And I've been wanting to do a longer fast since I did my previous 5-day, which was a few months ago, and lost a few pounds, feeling better, my body feels great. At the end of it, I've been off the fast for a couple of days now, but I went for 5 full days and essentially only had liquids, and it was good. So what is fasting? Fasting, there's different types, 3 types that I'm going to talk about today, and I'm going to do a little review of the book, which basically, I just want to make sure you can see it, The Complete Guide to Fasting by Dr. Jason Fung and Jimmy Moore, who is a blogger and podcaster. So The Complete Guide to Fasting, and get up there real close, Jason Fung and Jimmy Moore. So there's a lot of great things about this book, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm pretty much finished it now. Essentially what it does is it goes through a lot of different ways you can fast, and it's basically about 300 pages. So how many, I guess you can ask the question, how many things can you say about like not eating? There's a lot. And there's a lot of things that are in this book that are going to basically talk to why you might have fears about fasting, why you think you might not be able to fast, different types of fasting, also people who have success stories, testimonials by real people who fasted, both intermittently, alternate day fasting, as well as long-term. So I'm going to say I really enjoyed the book. So there's a lot of people who are great in the nutrition world, especially the low-carb and ketogenic world, who talk in this book, and just want to show you some of this. Fasting All-Stars is Abel James, and a couple of others. There's a number of others that are in the book. So that basically tells the story from these nutrition professionals who believe that fasting is beneficial to the health in our lives. So that's a really good part of the book. Then there's, of course, Dr. Jason Fung, who is the medical doctor out of Toronto, Canada, who is a nephrologist, basically a kidney disease specialist. And when you have a lot of patients who have kidney disease, a lot of that's from type 2 and sometimes type 1 diabetes. So those diseases can be very well affected by fasting. And of course, if you ever have any of those diseases and you decide to fast, always consult your physician to determine what the best approach is for you. But this book basically goes into a lot of non-technical and technical terms. Now, Jimmy, what he does is he talks about his experience with fasting, and he's done a lot of long-term fasts. He's currently on a fast, and he did a 17.5-day fast a few months ago, and he's done other shorter ones as well. And he talks about, the methods you can do to manage it when you're in a fast, other than just, of course, drinking water, because sometimes you may need a little additional salt in your diet to be able to offset some of the things that might happen. So that's what this book talks about. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about it. So in addition to that, we talk about basic stuff, nutritional items, like if you're in ketosis, what's the difference between ketosis and ketoacidosis? Some great graphics. This is a great looking book, too. Honestly, it is nicely designed. What other things can you see in the book? Like I said, there's some testimonials. This is one from someone named Megan. Let's see how I'm gonna go here. There we go. So basically, it tells her fasting success story. Also, a little bit later in the book, talking about medical reasons why you might fast. So fasting for heart health, excuse me. You want to be able to use it, fasting that is, as practical application for your life. I think that I'm going to continue to fast on a regular basis, and I think it's very healthy. Now, I've gotten comments from people thinking that it's a little bit crazy, and I ought to be honest, I might have thought that at one point myself. Now, right now, I don't think so. I think it's a good way to strategize and to be able to get your body a chance to heal itself. Also, when you do fast, it brings the ability of your body to develop ketones. And ketones allow you to burn fat off of your body, so it's great for losing weight if that's one of the things you're trying to do as well. Then they have reasons why you do and don't fast. Absolutely don't fast if you are. And this is another page of that. Can fasting cause anorexia? Of course not, but they talk about that in the book. Anorexia is more of a psychological issue as opposed to being a physiological issue. A lot of really good articles in here. And then they talk in chapter 13, one of my favorite chapters, is talking about prolonged periods of fasting. You want to be able to decide what the appropriate fasting is for you. If you really want it, there's really a great breakdown between the celebrities and the nutrition specialists who talk in this book, and Jimmy, who talks from his perspective, his experience about fasting. And I've done, like I said, I've done some myself, but I think he's, I can understand he's basically in a position where he's insulin, his body is just is basically insulin resistant, basically not insulin resistant, insulin sensitive, where he's basically produces way too much insulin, and anytime sensitivity on insulin is that he will store fat if he eats too many carbohydrates. So fasting is a perfect example of how he manages his health experience. Dr. Jason Fung, now he's had over 1,000 patients, and he has many of them on different types of fasting regimens, including long-term fasting regimens, and they have lost a lot of weight as well as gotten healthy, and even some of them have completely gotten off their insulin for diabetes medication. So again, some really good ideas and strategies about how to do this, and this chapter 15 is a good one too. Fasting tips and FAQs. I got this book when it was really on sale, but I'm telling you, it's worth every dollar. I would, I'm just recommending it for anybody who has an interest in fasting. And I'll talk about, the concepts of how you're going to think about fasting. Is it important to you to be able to manage and control your eating? The difference between fasting and starvation is a huge difference. It's a psychological difference. It's when you're fasting, you're making a choice not to eat. When you're starving, you're basically stuck in a situation where you never know where you're going to eat next. So I was really enthusiastic about this book. I'm glad I got it. I usually read a lot of books on electronically, but this one, excellent purchase for me. Again, Dr. Jason Fung, Jimmy Moore, whose website is livinlavitalow-carb.com. And he does a blog, he does podcasts on a regular basis, which are on iTunes as well as on various other methods of getting podcasts. If you really have an interest in fasting or any kind of fasting, whether it be intermittent, where you just fast for some amount of hours every day, where you have a eating window of maybe between 4 and 8 hours. If you alternate day fast, where you eat one day and fast the next, or even if you want to go on longer fasts for days or weeks, or depending on what's good for you. Now, like I said, I got a lot of pushback from family and friends on this kind of thing. Think it's a little crazy, but honestly, it works for me. So you got to decide what works for you. Always check with your doctor to determine what's the best approach for your health, because everybody's health is unique and different. But I think that fasting offers a lot of benefits for most of us out there. Now, of course, if you're underweight, that's probably not an approach for fasting. But if you got extra weight on you, or if you just want to get a little healthier by doing intermittent fasting or something like that, this book is going to give you a great way to work with all that. So that's it. I'm sorry, I'm so passionate about it, but gotta say, I think this is going to work for a lot of people. This book's huge too. It's been out. I'm happy I got my copy earlier from Amazon Canada, but it was sold out very quickly. I didn't think they realized how popular this would be. So, get your fasting, the Complete Guide to Fasting. One more time, Complete Guide to Fasting, and it's in Kindle as well. So if you would like electronic versions, you can do that. And if you have any questions, my email is nagreg@gmail.com. My name is Derek Mitchell. Please like this video if you do. And if you haven't subscribed and you'd like to, I'm always talking about keto and fasting and a little bit about financial freedom, and also about computers technology. So here I am. Thanks very much, Niagara Edge Health. Take care. Have a great day.